I'm not sure if this camera is recording. I think this mobile phone camera that I've been using to make these videos is almost at the end of its life. But I'll proceed as if it is. What I'm trying to think about today, or trying to surface really in my own thinking, is what I find myself doing when I'm thinking about these various things I talk about in these videos and things I write about, is I keep coming back to these same kind of graphical elements, just like visual symbols, I guess. I don't know the status of these symbols, whether they're archetypal or whether they're just mnemonics or whatever, something like that. But I thought it might be just useful to kind of out those symbols and where they feature in my thinking and what their significance is so far at least. And the symbol I think I've probably kind of referred to more so far is the symbol of a circle. And when I think about circles, or when I put the image of a circle in my mind, it kind of means a number of different things, represents a number of different strands of thought and ideas and concepts. And I think I've spoken about that before in relation to things like the tradition of a circular god or a spherical god, going back to Parmenides and Demosthenes and those guys, but other concepts as well. So the circle for me, and the one thing that's feeding into the circle, which is a set of ideas I really like, is the way that it's used in boundary mathematics, particularly the primary algebra of George Spencer Brown, in which he uses the circle as a symbol for a kind of primary division. This is within his book called The Laws of Form, which is I guess it's a kind of mathematics textbook. But he starts from kind of basic principles, and he says the first operation before mathematics can proceed is the making of a mark, and the making of the mark is the division between, well, I guess it's kind of between something and nothing, or between everything and individual things. And the primary mark that he makes is the mark of a circle, which distinguishes, well, the inside of that circle from the outside, but kind of represents all kinds of distinctions. And from that mark making, there's a set of mathematical procedures which follow from that, and a kind of set of logics which follow from that. So to cross into the circle from the outside of the circle can only be carried out once before. Is that right? Yeah, it can only be carried out once. You can't cross into the circle, then cross into the circle again without first crossing out of the circle. Kind of contain a logic to it. Two circles on a piece of paper represent the same discontinuity, so there's the interior of one circle, so to speak, is the interior of the other circle. Kind of a set of mathematical propositions which follow from that schematic statement, and so on. So in terms of so when I'm thinking of the circle, I'm partly thinking of it in terms of the boundary math, particularly of George Spencer Brown, and it's kind of philosophical underpinnings to do with distinction, mark making, separation, shifting of values, those kind of things which all play into that. The second thing that circles mean for me when I see the circle is I guess it's a more kind of phenomenologically grounded understanding of it, or two grounded understandings of it. The first is to do with vision, well, they're both to do with vision and perception, but the first is to do with the visual field. As I'm standing here looking around, I know I've got two eyes, but my visual field is singular. I think Jesus said something about that. I won't go into that right now. So So my visual field is pretty much circular. I know that it's slightly ovoid, but broadly speaking circular, bounded by a patch of nothingness, a kind of dark border where my eye sockets form a frame for that circular vision. So there's this huge porthole that I seem to be kind of looking out of, except it's not really out of, it's looking with. And the reason why I think that's important is because or the reason why I keep coming back to that, is because I personally find it quite useful to have a completely grounded understanding of those circles, ones that I can relate very distinctly to my own embodiment and my own ongoing experience as a certain kind of object in the world, a certain kind of sensory apparatus, which presumably helps to structure